Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another show up on Tereak Talks. Guys, it's the Arsenal show. You know how it is. You know what we're going to do. And you know what? Before I even mention anything about Arsenal, let me bring in my wonderful panel. I can't say guests anymore. I was about to, but they're not guests. They're the regulars on the show. Big up to my brother, Will. This is the first time we're doing a show since I met you in person.
Yeah, I know. It feels now. This feels weird. This feels weird. So I see, you see me in real life and how your hench and ting, and
I don't say. I'll give you the chat later. I'll give it you later. Yeah. Nah, man, but it's always great to see you, my bro.
Yeah,
big up
cool.
yourself, and
I'm glad to see you well as well. I'm glad to see you better.
Yeah, because we missed the show last week. Apologies to each and every you watching. If you're watching it afterwards, apologies for that. That's why I wasn't here last week to talk about the Leicester game. Because, spent too much time with Wilf. That's what Moss is saying. I don't think it was that. I actually think it was probably being in the Tollington and all of that as well.
No, it was a perfect storm. You, me, and Moss. There was bound to be a come down after that, man.
It's true. But another one who we saw for a brief moment, we was all in the flesh together, is my brother King as well. Yes. How you doing, man?
Yes, my King. How you doing, brother?
You're
mute. He's on mute.
You see,
typical, isn't it? How you guys doing, man?
We're all
good, man.
Good. Another one we saw live in the flesh, and guys, if I was doing a show with King in person, I'd be like, you say,
tell me about it. Tell me about it.
But I know people don't realize how tall I am because obviously you sit on the camera, so people just see a part of you. But it was nice to meet you guys. Honestly, I was so happy. Yeah. Even though it was just a few minutes, but it was nice to finally see you guys and meet Moss as well.
Come on, if you want to keep your place in the show, you gotta say I'm hench, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Tereak was fit as it was on point.
You see, that weren't convincing. Nah, thank you.
See, I practiced beforehand. I practiced before I come on. I practiced in the mirror and stuff. So, but that was a great day. Yeah, it was an awesome day.
It was.
It was quality, man. It was always great. And do you know what? Well, what was better than the result was meeting my brothers as well, who I've met through this community. And big up each and every one of you who's watching. I would love to get to see you one day all together. We spend a lot of time together in the comments, watching each other's videos, content, or in the comments of other people's streams. So it would be great to spend a lot of time with you, and we'll have to sort something out. But yeah, man. Well, without further ado, before we talk about Arsenal and and our amazing start to the season, which we kind of called, right, when we was getting all gassed the pre-season.
Of course we did.
Before we do that, let's big up each and every one of you in the comment section right here. We got Realist in the place. He's saying yes, sir. Big up yourself.
Realist.
We got King as well. You see, he's omnipresent. He's everywhere. He's on this stream. He's in the comments. That's what we like to see. Big up
That's
David.
Why he's king, innit?
Exactly. That's why he's the king.
Good point. I like that.
We've got David in here as well with the popcorn emoji. He's getting ready for this one. I'm sure he's happy. He's happy to see other people happy after his Manchester United won. We'll probably mention a little bit of that as well. Of course we will.
Did they won again? When did they won? Wow.
It's true. All right. And it's against Liverpool. And I know King's got a lot to say about Liverpool.
Yeah.
If you was in the comment section of the watch along, you'd know. Yeah. But big up David as well. If you guys want to keep up to date, David is the man on the scores on the doors. He's better than Chris Kamara. He's better than Jeff Stelling. He's right here today. Sky Sports News, don't need him. Got David in the place. Big up CM in here too.
Yes, big up CM.
Grab that food. Hopefully you'll be back. I mean, we started a bit late anyway, like we always do. Big up each and every one of you. We got Matt G in here. This is a top time.
Matt G.
Yeah, big up Matt G. I hope you're good, bro.
Big up Matt G. We'd love to meet you as well one day, my brother. Someone who's a massive supporter of the channel. I got to meet through other communities, other Arsenal fans as well. So we'd love to meet you as well, man. But yeah, big up yourself. Thank you for showing love and support as always. And we got the King and the Don who's just omnipresent around here. I mean, in the chat as well. right in here. And look at big up Brad is in here as well.
Yes, Bradley, my boy Brad.
All
Another
the way
one
from the States.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're gonna have to fly over to meet you, man. Unless you're gonna do a Moss. There you go.
Yeah, no, we could do that. We'll turn up at his house.
Yeah. Tereak will pay for the ticket.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
If you keep liking the streams, Brad, and keep supporting, maybe the YouTube money will be able to fly us all over together. maybe. Big up each and every one of you. Thank you, and to those of you watching as well later on. So we've done no introductions. Let's get into it. Wilf, King, top of the league. But before we talk about Arsenal, the reason why we're top of the league is we're the only team with 100% start
record. Yes,
exactly. King,
there's teams out there getting bad. Trusky. There's teams out there getting bad or left, right, and center by teams that should be going down. Chelsea. Hey, it's all about. You might say
some got liver schooled.
Liver schooled, you know. That was good. I like that, King. You're my cussing now. Don't know. It's difficult. Spurs won, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, fluke, to be honest, because that weren't convincing.
No, not
convincing. For all they won the transfer window, and they're this, that, and the other. That work. They haven't had a convincing result yet, really. Really, I don't. Okay, maybe Southampton, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. And Kulusevski, that's who I can cuss. What's he doing? Missing again? Is that right, King? Is that Kulusevski? Where's he gone? You know what I mean?
He turned up for the first game and then he checked out.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. But so there you go. I've had to find someone. But yeah, this is a great start to the Premier League. And now we've spoken about those. Now we can look at that. Matt G, we're top of the league. A man can dream. We've got, of course, I came to laugh at Arsenal, but I'm 2 years too late.
That's a good one.
He's also saying, Rule, if you're on the show, you can't also be in the chat. The chat is for us to talk about you lot.
Sorry, Matt. I really apologize, man. Let's bang out of order,
I'm big up Why Not in here as well. It's been a while, Why Not?
Yes.
Love to hear your thoughts, Why Not?
Because...
I'm sure he still wants Arteta out, you know.
I know. We need to get him on a stream one day, honestly. Yeah. I want to hear his thoughts.
Edit Arteta out, big up Why Not each and every time. But you know what? We have to talk about that game against Bournemouth, guys. I know we haven't really spoken about Leicester. You can have a brief word on that as well if you want. But this overall start to the season, this is wonderful. First time we've won our first 3 games since the 2004-5 season, which is we were carrying on that undefeated run.
Yeah.
Wilf, talk to me, man.
What I feel so good about is that I'm disappointed it was only 3 goals. That's where I'm at now, and what difference a season makes, a year makes. You know what I mean? When everything's in place, well, pretty much everything's in place. The plan is coming together, and I came out of the Bournemouth game thinking, oh man, that could have been 5-6, but it's come, and we're still not out second gear. I don't think. There's players to come. We're going to see more from Partey, even though he had a good game. We're going to see more from Odegaard. We're going to see more from Saka, even though Odegaard scored 2 goals. I just see a cohesion and a spirit and a steely determination to do something this year from this squad, this team, this manager, sporting director, even, dare I say it, owner in Josh Kroenke. The plan is coming together, and you can see it. I can see the future. You know what I mean? And it's bright, it's red, it's Arsenal.
That's what I like, and man, it's a great way to start. And King, you know, a game where we last played Bournemouth away from home, we drew 1-1. You could say we was quite fortunate in those scenarios, which was Arteta's first game in the time that we played Bournemouth at their stadium. And the fact that we were so convincing, Arsenal winning by 3-0. King Wilf said it could have been more. And when have we felt that way traveling away from home to any Premier League stadium? How is this making you feel, these first 3 games?
I think that this proved why we were so excited during preseason. It's another testament why we felt like Gabriel Jesus was a much better option than Richarlison, and why so many fans were so excited to see Saliba. Why we couldn't understand how Zinchenko was so cheap. And you can see now that the manager, the more of the players he gets, the better as a team we become. And I think it was beautiful because his first game was against Bournemouth 2.5, almost 3 years ago. And the improvement from that team to this team is like day and night. And this is the process. Whether people believe in it, whether we will win the league one day, I don't know. But this is the process. This team that we have right now, where fans are excited, fans are in love with Arsenal again, fans have hope again. I don't remember the last time. It must have probably been 07 where I had hope and was excited about Arsenal going into a season. And this is why we have to give props to Josh Kroenke as well. I think he deserves some credit. 4 years ago, the Kroenkes were in the mud. Almost the whole fan base were Kroenke. They took a massive risk employing a manager that never managed before during probably our biggest crisis. That takes character. And during this whole time, they've been patient. They've never changed their mind. They've never doubted him. If anything, they've given him more support. And now we can see the reason why. Here we are now. I'm not saying Arsenal are winning the league. I'm not saying all of that. But at least now Arsenal is a good team with a good squad, with a lot of potential. Nobody knows how good we're going to be because we've got so many players where they are far from their prime. So it's looking good, bro. It's looking good.
Exactly that. And just before we get into some individual players, the way I'm going to structure it is going to be a little bit different because I know the game has happened. You probably watched a lot of, match reactions and those things. But I want to talk about some certain individuals and what we've seen from at the start and what we expect from them to come. But before we do that, let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Big up everyone who is tuned in, like Brush is in here as well. Hope you're good. Social in here. My boys, my brothers right there. But Matt G's going and saying, Wilf, this team is miles ahead of where we were last season. There's a good feeling. He's agreeing with you there, Matt G. And he's also followed up by saying, not saying that we are going to win the league or anything like that, but as long as we are more consistent than last season, I am happy. And another thing with this side, and I want to know how you guys are feeling about the group as a whole. This is the first time I've really fell in love with a group of players. And although I know they're not perfect, we have individuals in the depth, in the depth positions, like an El Nene, who I don't think is at the quality of Arsenal where we want to be. But the way that they represent the shirt is completely different to what we've seen with much better players. Our captain last season didn't represent us, didn't give us pride. And a lot of times, yes, he had the quality and he's shown it. But when he wasn't, the quality is good. But when you don't represent that shirt well and you don't carry that honour to play for Arsenal on and off the pitch, it doesn't wash well with the fans eventually, and that will tell. And we've seen other players who we've adored, like an Alexis Sanchez, who was amazing at one point, didn't honour the shirt, didn't really, feel like it was an honour to be at Arsenal until he left, after he left.
Yeah.
So, Wilf, I just want to hear, what's your thoughts on this group of players and what's your feelings towards them? I know it seems like a deep question, but...
No. I mean, for a long time, I've loved this side. So I fell in love with this side completely. All the players... Probably last season, the summer window when Ramsdale and all them men come in, I was starting to love them then. And I've had this, unlike you, I've had this feeling before. I've had this feeling like 2 or 3 times before with the Graham years and the Wenger years and a couple of the Wenger teams. I just think they're all Arsenal players. They have Arsenal DNA. I remember there's no fuss. They know what it's like. They know what it's about to play for the club. They love playing for the club. They love playing for the fans. They feel like Arsenal players. There are other players who played for Arsenal in the past, but these guys feel like they're Gooners. They they're one with us, and I'm loving the feeling that they're giving me. I can't wait for match of the day. I'm watching the games over and over again and seeing something new. The players that are coming in, it's not just their quality, but their personality that I'm loving. And it's just a feel good, squidgy feeling all over. You know what I mean? So,
and the fact that Brad's feeling right here that we can challenge for a league in 2 to 3 seasons, which is far from ridiculous to say. As King mentioned before, when he was talking about the young players that have room to grow and have room to develop. King, how are you feeling about these group of players? We know Wilf's mentioned that he's had it with the Graham era, he's had it with the Arsene Wenger times, and I know you've had it with those periods as well, especially with the Arsene Wenger ones. But this group of players, we've got that quality now, and with Wilf said last season that he started to feel it with certain individuals, but this is a whole group collective now where we love each and like everyone, and there's no one that I want him
even
out.
Xhaka.
Xhaka's got a chant now. Xhaka's got a chant.
I feel like Arsenal become a family. And I remember when Oba said it, I didn't believe it. But now when I look at the players, I hear the way they speak about the club and the manager and the fans. And also you see the fans, how much love and affection they have for the team and the player. And it's good, honestly. It's exciting. It's hard to keep yourself together and not get carried away because you just love them. Look at Saliba, look at all the negative things we heard that Arteta hates him, Arteta doesn't rate him, we're gonna lose him, he's gonna go back to Marseille, or he's gonna go to this and that. And he comes in and everyone adores him. Arteta praised him in every press conference and he's trusted him to play him. And it's another testament that these group of players, they have certain characters in them that he values. And this is why he was so hard on the non-negotiables, on mentality, on personality, because they've had patience. And now that patience is paying off. And even the new players like Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko and Fabio Vieira, they've all came in and it's like they've been in this group forever. You wouldn't tell that they are the odd one or they are the new guy. They are all part of what Arteta is building. And I feel like that is something that is strong, where you've seen with other clubs when they've had success, it's been for a small period. And then look at Sterling, the way he's talking about Man City, for example. There's no love there. There's no affection there. But at least now, you see these players, they care. And when they care, we care even more. And I think I've missed that feeling. Wilf would know what I'm talking about. I missed that feeling of feeling like I'm part of Arsenal and Arsenal is part of me. And it's good to be back.
It's us against the world.
Yeah.
And
I just want to go back to. Can I just go back to what Brad was saying? On the title challenge, and I'm talking, and the key word here is challenge. I think this team this season are going to be looking to challenge for the title. The challenge and winning is 2 different things. I still think Man City are going to win it, but if we challenge for the title, then we don't have to worry about 4th place because we'll in the top 4 because we'll make it because we're staying in the hunt. And I think this team's going to go from strength to strength a lot quicker than we think, because they have already. Because it took Klopp 5 years. we're ahead of that schedule now. And I don't think people really get that. Even Pep took him 2 or 3 years to really get a foothold and say, okay, this is where we're going. And we're on that kind of schedule. And I just see something amazing happening here with this squad.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, I hear that. And sorry, about G's comment just got me laughing there. He says, hit the lock in, or David Lee will karate kick you in the neck. Love that. Hey, David's the general over here. He's a moderator now. So, yeah, be careful. Listen to him.
Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off.
Exactly that. But I hear what you're saying in terms of the title challenge, because challenging is it's all subjective, isn't it? What you class as a title challenge, would you say? For me, a challenge is if you're going in beyond March and you're still in the conversation. That's towards the latter end. You're 3/4 through the way talking about a title challenge. If City then go and run away with it, then they've won the league and they ended it at that point. But we've seen Liverpool win the league in February, win that COVID season where they lost to Watford, but they was well ahead and City weren't involved in that. And so I think you are right in that sense. What would you say, King? Do you think that that Arteta can take us to a title challenge? Not saying he's going to win us the league, but has the capability to do that?
Yeah, and the reason why I'll say this is that people forget that the manager Arteta 2.5 years ago and the manager Arteta today are two different managers. It's like when you look at a young talent and he kicks on and he keeps on improving every year and becomes better. And I think we can now look at Arteta as a good manager. He's reached that level now, and you can see it in his confidence and in his aura that even he himself believes in what he's doing, and the club believe in him. And I think that they might feel that they are ahead of schedule, and that is the reason why they want to add a Pedro Neto, and they don't want to wait because they feel like they can do something special this season. And it's good to see. It's good to see again. I think, of course, we can challenge. Like, I know it's early days. I know that we are just one lose away from a bit of a downfall. But for me, the thing why I rate Arsenal right now is that the way we play football has improved. I can see the technical ability in this team is so high now, where if we score a goal, it's not a coincidence. If we have a pattern, it's not a coincidence. These players are schooled, they're trained, and they understand what the manager wants. And everybody that was asking for what is Arteta ball, you can see it now.
Exactly that. And JC comes in with a comment that I think we all agree with. We need a deeper bench and competition for the key positions within the club. And what my response, and I'll let the others have a response to this as well. I like the fact that the club are aiming to address this, and we've even improved in the right back position. I know it's not directly by signing a right back, but having Saliba in there, allowing Benjamin White to cover for Tomiyasu is improving that right back position there. Left back, Zinchenko, is he even depth, or is he competing for a starting position based on a game-to-game basis? That's what we want. Looking like we're going to be, we've added in Ødegaard's position with Fabio Vieira. That's competition there, where we've needed another outlet and someone that can play with Ødegaard as well, by the way. So it's not just a direct replacement, but someone that can cover that position if they're not at the level or injuries occur. And the same goes with, even when you're looking in the forward sense, with a Jesus, someone who's got a good record of staying fit. I know he had picked up a knee injury a few years back, but he's responded well from that. And we'll talk about knee injuries later on with Pedro Neto. But he's someone that can cover a wide position that gives us depth, a certain level of depth in that right wing area as well. I know we're still a bit light in some areas. For me, that right wing, I'd still want. That's what we're interested in. Neto, Thomas Partey, if he got injured, we have players there, but do we have competent quality that can that could go through a 10-game stretch where we know Thomas Partey picks up those length of injuries. And mainly for me, those are the two real positions that I'm looking at. And then possibly at centre-back, if you're going to be methodical with things at the left centre-back role, do we still have someone that can cover for Gabriel? But yeah, the fact that we're going in that direction, I'm happy. And that's why I think within a year, we can compete for a title if things go our way, of course, as well. What would you say about that, Will? What JC's comment here?
Yeah, all good sides need that. Yeah. If you're going to be a good side, you need depth, strength and depth. You need competition for places. Man City and Liverpool are the yardstick by that. You know, so that's a no-brainer, and I totally agree. Credit has to go to Arteta because he took a lot of blows to get here. And when things are going that bad, it's really hard to believe in yourself and to believe in your plan and your process and everything that's going on. But he knew what he was building. He stuck with it. And this is we're reaping the rewards now. There was times even I was like in January, well, we need to get in a body. But sticking to that plan has paid dividends and showed you, right, okay, we're in a position this summer to make the big signings and the ones that we really want and need, and only those. And I think that's where they're going. I mean, I think that's why we're not hard going after Tielemans, because I think they think we can do better.
Yeah.
I mean, even with Pedro Neto, who I like, but I'm still thinking they think, can we do better? Because we've got the money and we can go. I mean, we've obviously got to be careful about the fair play thing with the way we're spending. But I think they're still looking for their plan A's. And I think Tielemans and Pedro Neto are plan B or C's, or probably B's, plan B's, but good plan B's. But that's what we need. Also Vieira can play wide right now. I didn't realize that as much, because that's where they played him in the under-23s. So we have versatility in all areas apart from Partey. So that's the one that worries me the most. But I think the smart way that they've done it in bringing in players who are versatile, who can play two or more positions, is very clever. And it negates that whole having to have Man City, Newcastle money for your squad by bringing in players that can play in different positions.
And just on Will's point there, I'd go to you, King, and that's how I think it's a very good one, because that's how Manchester City have created squad depth, having players that can play a number of positions. Do you think that's the approach that Arsenal are taking at the moment?
100%. Like, the reason why Arteta likes Zinchenko, like Jesus, like Vieira, Saliba. These players can play on multiple positions. We've seen it with Saka. Saka's played left back. He's played left wing. He's played number 8, number 10, and right wing. It's no coincidence. And Vieira is a similar type of player in the sense of he can play in multiple positions. He got different qualities than Saka, and they add different things to the team. But again, a very versatile player. And you see, like, Gundogan can play false 9. He can play number 8. He can play number 6. We've seen Kevin De Bruyne play deep lying playmaker. He's played 10, 8 on the wings, false 9. Foden, another one. Like, it's the future of football, because the thing is, now it's a system. So you have to be able to do multiple things when you have the ball, whether it's a running to drive out a defender, or you need to be able to dribble, or you need to be able to pass, or you need to be able to create a triangle. It's no longer that, oh, you're a winger, beat your defender one-on-one and cross the ball in. Like football has become more sophisticated than that, and that's why they are looking for versatile players. So when we attack, it's almost like Zinchenko is a midfielder, Ben White is almost a midfielder, and then you already have your midfielders in Partey, Odegaard, and Xhaka. So you got so many players that can break the lines with their passing ability or their movement. You remember we had so many years where we had technically good players, but there was no movement. So when we faced teams with low blocks, we got frustrated because we couldn't open them up. And I think that is probably the time when Wenger's football started to decline because he couldn't reinvent himself anymore. And at the end of the day, it became his fall. And then we went to Unai Emery, who is a good cup manager, a specialist in Europa League.
Yeah.
But he's not a manager for a team who wants to be a ball possession team, a club who wants to dominate games. That doesn't get the best of Unai Emery. And that's why the club realized that and had to sack him. So when people say that, oh, Emery didn't get the time Arteta did, because Emery wasn't right for the club.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any agendas. Like, they believed in him. They took a chance on Emery. They were never convinced. The thing is this, that people forget that they wanted to employ Arteta after Wenger. But at that time, Arteta didn't have any staff. That was the main reason why they didn't employ him.
And like you know, like with taking Saliba on loan, Arteta wasn't ready.
Yeah, and it was good. It was probably a good thing because you don't want to take over a Guardiola, a Wenger, a Ferguson, because it's the hardest thing you can do in football. But it looks good. It looks good, and I'm excited to see Pedro Neto. Like, for me, there were 4 wingers that I wanted to see. One of them were Rafinha, Olise, Esse, or Neto. If we get one of them, it's gonna be hard to hold me back, because Neto is another one that I believe is just waiting to explode. Put him in an environment where you are dominating the ball and he gets more freedom, more attacking opportunities than defending opportunities. You're gonna see a baller. And also it will be good motivation for Saka to know that someone is there chasing my spot. And also, we don't have to rely on someone who's 20 years old to play week in and week out. We can rest him for a few games. He can take that pressure from him. Sometimes it's just mentally you need a break when you're young. And I think I've heard so many interviews with players like Fabregas, Wayne Rooney, Michael Owen, and they talk about this, that the responsibility they had to take at some point was too much. So hopefully we're addressing that, and then the other teams better watch out for Arsenal.
I think we are addressing that. I mean, we tried it last season with just a bare 11, and we just fell short. The learning curve on this manager has been sensational. I know I'm speaking my heart here, but I also speak in my head. I think he is going to be one of the elite managers. Everybody needs to start somewhere. Pep started in Barcelona B, and Klopp started with Mainz, and everybody starts somewhere. But I see genius in him. I see adaptability. I see quick learning, and him having to learn the hardest way that I can ever remember a manager learning in their first two and a half seasons. And he's progressed, and this is where this is where he comes out with this team and this squad and this way of playing. I saw Arteta ball in spots, in places last season, and even when he first took over, but he knew that he needed the personnel. He's got the personnel there. He's had Edu and Josh there along with him, and they're all learning at the same time, and they're going, right, This is the level that we won't accept. I think between the three of them, they have non-negotiables as well. So there's a set that's for the team, and then there's a set between them three, as in quality above all else. Spotting people and going back to your old clubs and stealing gems and bargains, and because Zinchenko and Jesus, ridiculous money that we paid for them. That's ridiculous money. How much did Vlahovic go for? I take Jesus over Vlahovic any day. Zinchenko, people were talking about other players. These are steals. These are four-time out of the last 5 years championship winning sides and just won everything. And we're getting them for 45 million. We paid more than that for Ben White.
They haven't peaked yet.
You see what I'm saying to you? Yeah.
And I mean, I think 29, 30 even.
Yeah, and I think Ben White is now worth the 50 million that we paid. But we didn't even pay that much for Zinchenko and Jesus.
Odegaard.
So Odegaard, I mean, I remember when we were talking about 80 million for Maddison. Anyway,
we'll get into some of these individuals.
I'm excited. I'm
I can tell you're both excited. I can really tell. I've just been sat here, just like soaking it all in, and I'm like, yo, they're taking it to a place I want to take it to anyway. But before I do that, big up to each and every one of you who's locked in here. Big up our brother Abbas. He's saying, good evening, guys. I'm watching you from Liberia. Thanks for keep doing
my African brother. Job.
Exactly. The home of George Weah, the place where I believe Alfonso Davies' parents are from.
Yeah.
I think so. Played on the Wenger, George Weah, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Was it Monaco? No.
Yeah, Monaco.
Yeah, it was Monaco, yeah.
So big up each and every one of you. Big up Mumsy in the place as well. She was saying, I love to hear you guys, or you talk about your team with such love, devotion, and so much insight. It's good to see. You know what? You got Mama's accreditations out there. Big up, Mama.
That's some nice words.
And JC, he's agreeing with us, and he's also said, I think Vieira was a test run. Big up yourself, Chino. Big up Ed, who's in here as well. We've got plenty of comments that we need to run through, but we'll get through those in a bit. So if you've got any questions or any big key topics that you want to talk about for Arsenal, let us know. I've just seen Abbas saying Arsenal is getting better and better by each day. I like that. Great job for the team. That's what we like to hear. But people, what I just wanted to talk about now, and I wanted to do this a bit earlier, but you know what? We're just waxing lyrical about our club and everything. And that's kind of how I wanted this show to be. But I wanted to speak about some certain individuals. I know this player, between me and Wilf, we spoke about the Crystal Palace game, and we had a bit of a debate about a moment about this player. But overall, even though he hasn't started the season, the first two games, not to the ability that we know he can, but he still gave us a lot defensively and in terms of character, attitude, what we want, the base levels of performance to be there. But this weekend, in 10 minutes, he silenced all of the critics and haters. And that's Martin Odegaard, our captain. King, we'll start.
I told you. I told you. This is what I'm saying. I told you.
There's other people that you needed to tell for sure who was discrediting Odegaard, saying he's nowhere, he's not good enough, he doesn't do this, we're giving him this guy the captain, he barely spoke in All or Nothing. I was hearing ridiculous stuff about Odegaard. But King, educate the people, man, about this guy. And you know what the levels he can get to and what the next step he needs to take in his career.
I think what people need to understand is, what does Odegaard do on the pitch? And I think sometimes just take a look at what he does when he doesn't have the ball. And then you'll start understand what a warrior he is, because Odegaard never stops running. You will not see him lift his arm and wait or complain. He knows what he's supposed to do before he does it. And that's why sometimes it looks so simple and that he's not engaged in the game, because he'll do the simplest thing. The ball will come to him and he will flick it, and then he'll make a movement and he will open up a space. Like, people don't understand these days, movements are key in football. So when you open up space for your attacker, that is now more important than dribble past a player. And that's why we see more and more ball playing midfielders and less dribblers central in the pitch. Because the ball is faster than the human body.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that Odegaard is elite at. He's elite at finding the pockets and dictating the game. So he decides what tempo we play at. And you don't always have to play at 110 miles an hour. Sometimes you want to frustrate the oppositions. You want to get the ball from one flank to another flank, up and down, in and out, up and down, create triangles. And he's so good at that. And Odegaard is never gonna, I wouldn't say never, but to get the best out of Odegaard, you don't always want him to be the last man in front of goal because he can break the line from deep from the pitch. And when you break the line, you get the advantage because you've already passed through the whole midfield of the opposition. So you already open them up, which make it easier for your attacker. And that's why now you can see Arsenal are pressing team much better now. And it's because of Odegaard. And I think people need to understand that Gundogan is a perfect example of a player who now people appreciate him because he scores goal. But Gundogan been levels for years for Man City because he used to be that guy who was open up spaces for the other guys, who was doing the flicks, doing the passing, dictating the tempo, while Kevin De Bruyne was doing the last pass or the last cross or shooting. People got different roles in football. It's not just because you are the number 8 doesn't mean you have to be the highest goal scoring midfielder. Yes, he can develop. And yes, when he's in front of goals, he should shoot more because he has the technical ability to score goals at the guard. And that's why I've been onto his case a bit because we've seen him score good goals from outside the pitch. So it's not that he doesn't have the ability. I just think that he's such a, I don't know if nice guy is the right word, but he's so creative that sometimes he forget that, you know what, I can also score. And I think that Mikel is trying to get that out of him. Like, you remember there was one time like Wenger was pressing Özil to shoot more and to score more. And I think Mikel is doing the same with Odegaard. And he's just 23, guys. Like, sometimes people talk like he's 26, 27. Like, he's gonna have part of his game that he needs to develop, and he's doing it. He's gonna have a good season, and it's good.
Great points from King right there, Wilf. And how I'd pose this to you is, you know, we speak about players and, you know, the statistics. You know, with Bruno, I know he gets a lot of goals and assists, not really of late, but even when he was at his best, people like he gives the ball away a lot. But Odegaard, I don't think he's ever going to be that player that, you know, his value to the team is totally going to be dependent on goals and assists. If he can get that, that's where the wider public, when I say the wider football fans who don't watch Arsenal every week, will say, oh, you know what, this player is actually all right. Wilf, you've spoken about this a lot in terms of what Odegaard brings on the pitch. Talk to me, what do you think his biggest element is in this team?
I think his biggest element is his intelligence when he's not playing well. He's not doing that creative stuff.
Yeah.
He goes, right, okay, today it's not happening for me creatively. So what else can I give to the team? Right, okay, defensively, make sure that I'm sound. And like quite a few players in our side, he lives rent-free in opponents' heads. So even when he's not playing, he's affecting the game because they constantly got one eye on him because they go, right, if he turns up for 5 minutes alone, he could kill us. So they're distracted from other players. His all-round game is a 7. I think when he gets to that level of he is dictating each and every game. Because even Kevin De Bruyne don't dictate each and every game. But when he gets to that level, oh my God, it's going to be scary. There's obviously comparisons. I've seen someone make the comparison with Ozil. The difference between Ozil and Odegaard is Odegaard shows up in every game. Might not be in the way that you want him to, but he shows up in every game. He shows up in the big games. He will give you something. You know, when he comes off that pitch, he's giving you something. There's nothing left on it. You know, everybody has off days. Nobody's consistently perfect every day in whatever job that you do. But when he's not, he is still giving you, no one's going past him. No one's just running past him into the box untracked. Nobody's got time on the ball around him to pick out a pass or kill us with a deadly ball because he's blocking that. You know what I mean? He's leading by example. His will to win is as hungry as anybody else on that pitch, if not more so at times. And that's what's been telling for me, especially in the first two games, when he wasn't playing to the Odegaard that we know, is what he was doing in those games. People say he goes missing. I don't think he goes missing. He just does something different. I've watched those games over and over again, and he doesn't make life easy for the opposition. And you never got that from Ozil. You never got that. Even when he was dictating games, you never got that.
Yeah. What I would say, the big thing, if you was to put it in intangible aspects for Odegaard, he leads the press. How many times have you seen him for Arsenal be the furthest man forward in leading that press? He's so essential for that. And I know these things as a casual football fan, or as someone that, that you don't really pay much importance to it, you'll be looking at and say, oh yeah, well, every player should do that. We've literally spoken about Ozil so much in the past where he hasn't done that. Ronaldo, he doesn't. Lacazette, he lacked a lot in the press as well. He would try, but he just didn't have the intensity to be able to do it throughout a 90 minutes or throughout a majority of the game. And that's where you really want with Odegaard. It's intelligent. He leads it. He times it well. And that's what he will give you if he's having a crap day on the ball.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, like I saw against Crystal Palace, his passing was not as crispy. He was giving it away in a lot of occasions, but Arteta kept him on the pitch for the majority of that game, because how many times did you see him making recovery runs into his own box, winning the ball off of Zaha, when the other occasions he might have got past Saliba.
And that left back, right back position that he took up when you had the argument about. At least he was there, but he was there. You see what I'm saying to you? So he gives you so much, even when he's not playing well, or when he's perceived to not be playing well.
Yeah, you can appreciate him in that sense, in so many ways. And another player that I want us to speak about, we've spoken a lot about Jesus in the previous shows. You've heard it everywhere about Jesus and Saliba, and King's got to sing it. Come on, man! Did you research the song, King?
I promise to do it. I promise.
On your show,
what was the name? Yeah, I'll do it on my show because I'm gonna do it.
It's called Tequila. The song's called Tequila.
Tequila, yeah.
Yeah, the song's called Tequila.
Is it that one?
Yeah. Will's loving it.
Saliba!
Look at that PND. He beat you to it, He beat you to it.
Yeah. Fair play. I like it.
Big up yourself Vincent, as well. Sorry, King, but yeah, you just put up a nice comment here. You put together a highly insightful show, each one of you. Bravo. Big up yourself.
Big up Vincent. Nice comment.
That's really touched me, man. Really appreciate that. What was you going to say there, King?
I think with Saliba, yeah. I don't know where to start with him because, sometimes you just watch a player and you just know they're going to be good. I remember I had a feeling when I saw Fabregas play for us the first time. I was like, this guy is different. Like, he's gonna be a star. And you could see with Fabregas, he was just way ahead everyone at his age, and you can see that with Saliba already. Like physically, he's gifted with certain attributes that you can't teach someone to have. You can't teach someone to be his height and be that strong and be that fast. That's a natural gift, and to have those attributes and add it to the technical ability that he has on the ball, and now his understanding of defending as well. Like he reminds me of a young Rio Ferdinand at Leeds. I remember when Rio came up,
Yes.
and you just knew that Rio was gonna be a total monster, and it didn't disappoint. Like Rio is one of the best centre backs we've seen in the Prem,
Yes.
and Vincent Company was another one. Like he came to City, and he was a bit of an unknown player because he played for Anderlecht, and you could just see after a few games that this guy is a different gravy. And the thing with Saliba as well is that he got the aura of a star, where he's
Yeah.
just so cool on the pitch. He never looks stressed. Like no matter how hard the task is, he doesn't look stressed. And he's another one. He's just 21. Like
Even when he's
he,
banging top corner, he still looks
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Look how cool he just in the top bin. Like it was nothing. It looked so easy for him. And no, it's exciting, and you can tell even like Gabriel is saying like he's the best centre back. Like imagine, and that's no diss to Ben White or to Gabriel or anyone. It's just that certain players just have that extra X factor where you just have to. We are. I'm just thankful that he plays for Arsenal, and just
I
let him gel, and
yeah.
we're gonna have a beast of.
I have to say something. I actually hate Saliba, and this is why I hate Saliba. Because every time I say to myself, right, I'm keeping my feet on the ground, I'm staying level-headed, I'm not gonna get gassed. The geezer's still young. All of the, it's his first season. It's only 3 games, and the next game he makes me go yes. And I hate that because I can't keep my feet on the ground with this guy. I can see so much potential with him. It's unbelievable. I'm hard pushed. There's only King alluded to it. Rio, Van Dijk, Tony Adams. Those are the only ones that immediately come to my mind where I saw them and went, "Oh my God, this shouldn't happen." I've been using this phrase a lot, but we've got a few unicorns in our side, and he is one of them. I can't believe he's the age that he is.
Yeah,
He's just King said it. The calmness, even when he is being flapped. I mean, there was a tackle he did on Moore, where and Moore is it Moore Bournemouth? Yeah. So yeah, he was running through it, and Moore's no slouch. You know what I mean? And he tried to nudge Saliba, and he bounced off him. And then Saliba just went, "Oh, you showed me the ball." Big mistake. Nicked it, got the throw in, and Moore was just like, "No, how is this happening? This doesn't happen. This guy's ridiculous." Yes, Moss.
Yeah.
And he epitomizes the ceiling of this team. He truly epitomizes the ceiling of this team. Our oldest 2 players are Partey and Xhaka. That's correct, right? Everybody else is under 25.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's that itself is crazy, and that's why I say that nobody knows how good Arsenal is gonna become, because almost none of our main players have peaked yet, and this is the thing. None have peaked yet. People were trying to and this Gabriel Jesus is the perfect example. People thought they knew how good he was.
Yes.
And now they understand that they didn't knew how good he was.
Yeah.
What about Martinelli in 2-3 years time? What about Saka? What about Smith Rowe, Saliba? You know, even players like
Odegaard.
Ben White, Odegaard,
Yeah.
like even Ramsdale.
Tomiyasu.
Ramsdale is a kid that's a
Yeah.
goalkeeper.
It's a
People don't
baby.
understand that. He's a baby. Gabriel is 22 or 23. Like,
Yeah.
we've so many players that have so much more to learn and to give, and they're already playing at a very high
And mistakes
level.
to make. And mistakes to make.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Yeah, big
you
up
learn
Holding.
from your mistakes.
I'm sorry, I'm not talking too
Hey,
much about you, Holding. But
love
yeah,
Holdini,
big up,
man.
big
Don't
up,
get
big
me.
up.
But
But
you saw in it all or nothing.
he,
That mentality. That
yeah,
mentality Holding's got
He's
yeah,
is
yeah,
I'm here for the team. If they want
yeah,
me to be ball boy, I'm
yeah,
being ball boy.
You need that. I know we take the mick out of that as fans and, you know, people a lot, but you need that in the squad. Manchester United with Sir Alex Ferguson, he had plenty of them. Park
Yes.
Ji-sung, someone who
yeah.
only came
Yes.
John
up for
O'Shea.
games.
Dennis Irwin, John
Yeah,
O'Shea, I
John
mentioned
O'Shea, Wes
before.
Brown, etc.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
more that Man United fans would be able to tell
Yeah.
me.
yeah,
So yeah, they're so important in terms of squad. And
Well,
even recently,
Liverpool, Milner.
Origi, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
You need it. Like, you
yeah,
need them kind of
Milner,
players.
Rigi.
It was common back in the days.
Yeah.
People forget that
Kite.
even when we were at our best, we still had players like Will Todd, like Edu, you
yeah.
know, who would come in and put a shift on and play at a high level. Like you need those kind of players who they won't play week in, week out, but you can rely on them on certain amount of games. And the
Exactly.
thing with Holding as well is that he's not there and putting, dropping his head and being moany. Like, he feels like he's blessed to be there, and that itself is a blessing, because a happy squad is a good squad. And I
And
think,
I'd say
yeah,
players like Holding and El Neni, in many ways, they are more important because when they come on, I'm raising my level when I come on because of what's happened, because of what's around me, because I'm blessed to be in this team and I'm supporting this team. They probably give you that couple of percent more, because there's no accident that Holdini comes on and closes out a game.
Mm.
And when he closes out a game, he closes out proper. You know what I mean? You have
Elneny
it
is
in
another
baseball.
one.
Yeah, you have it in baseball. You have closers. You have closeout pitchers. You have in all different sports, basketball, in I'm sure in American football, all these kind of things. You have people that come out and close out a game and do their thing where, all right, we're in this position now. We need to make a change. We need to strategically do something about this game. Yeah, just kill the spirit of the opposition. And sometimes it's not necessarily goals that does that. Sometimes it's the player that comes on and just puts up a wall, and you go, "Ah, come on, man! I'm tired, and I've got to face this wall now," which you get with Holdini. I think Ben White is that kind of player as well. Who did someone call him? Benito Whitoni. Whitonio. That's what Whitini. That's what I'm calling him from now on, because he's again an amazing, intelligent player. Because it's not easy to go, whether you've played there before or you played there once or twice before, but to slot into this team at right back and do what he's done in different games. So he's given us different right back performances in different games. And you've got Tomiyasu, who can play anywhere along that back line. You know what I mean? He can play left back, he can play right back, he can play centre back. All this intelligent that we are gathering, as well as talented, we're gathering intelligent footballers as well. And alongside that, to lead them, you've got a very, very intelligent manager. And I think people are underestimating what he is about.
There you go, right there. Guys, I'm going to have to move it on from the players
and
talk about the potential incomings. Don't worry, there was more. There was a couple more that I wanted to speak about, but we'll save that for next week. After we beat Fulham, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be able to talk about these lot. But for now, we had hot breaking news. Was it yesterday, actually, King? And Will?
Yeah, I think yesterday, yeah.
David Ornstein dropped the bomb. There was a few murmurs before that about Arsenal being interested, but when David Ornstein speaks, that's when the whole world does following that. So Arsenal in talks with Jorge Mendes or Jorge Mendes because it's Portuguese to sign the Portugal young. Is he international? I'm not even too sure.
Yeah. He's
Oh, is
played
so,
he?
a
yeah.
few games for, I
Playing
think, 3 or
decent.
4 games just before his injury.
Oh, there you go. Pedro Neto, who Arsenal have been interested for in the past as well, by the way, when he was at Braga, but then Wolves were able to get him and Bruno Jordao at the same time. I remember that because they were very good at my fans FM save. So yeah, but Arsenal, right? There's a few elements around this, and this is why I think it's an interesting topic to talk about. So we've got about 10-15 minutes to talk about this and Tielemans. So King, I'm going to speak to you. Right. I know how much you want it to happen. Talk about the player. Give us your overview, and I'll let you do the same as well, Wilf. But then also talk about do you think this is going to happen? And if you would, give me a percentage.
Okay, so for me, Pedro Neto, I rate him. I think he's a baller. I think he was unlucky. He kind of got injured at a wrong time,
Yeah.
but luckily it was not an ACL injury, so it's not gonna have an impact on his, speed or his pace or acceleration, because he's one of them unique players where he's very quick, but he's very good on the ball. Like usually you get players like Adama Traore, for example, or Walcott, where they are very fast, but technically they lack a lot. But for me, Neto, he's quite complete as a player. He works hard. He presses a lot. He's good on the ball. He's creative. I think where he can improve is probably his scoring ability. I think he could improve that. But that's also down to sometimes where he plays, because he is a left-footed player, but a lot of the times he plays on the left. So when he plays on the left, he's more of a creator, and we all know that Wolves lack a lot of players who can put the ball into the net. So
Yeah.
that's not helped him. And always it's different when what people forget that when you play for a team where you defend more than you attack, players like your Netos, like your Saha, your SA, if you put them in a team where now they can do what they are best at, which is attacking, you'll see them raised to the next level. And I think we saw that with Jota. Like Jota was all right at Wolves. He wasn't amazing, but he was okay. But when he went to Liverpool, we saw him playing at the next level at a point where I think he got like 20 goals overall last season. And he still missed a lot of games, and he managed to get the output. And I think we could see similar with Neto, because I rate him even higher than I rate Jota, and he's younger. So there's a reason why Arsenal have spoken with his agent for that long, and that's because they believe they can make this happen. Arsenal, if they felt like this would not be possible, they move on. And I think that he's the priority now over the Villarreal winger. And I would say 70% chance that we get him. I think it will be down to how much we are willing to pay Wolves.
Yeah.
But I do think that George Mendes has a big say in that. And also, as Tereak was saying earlier, they do have financial issues, their owners. A lot of the owners from that part of Asia, they suffered a lot during COVID, and they need money. The owners need money, and they've spent a few millions on Nunez and Guedes, exactly. So it's a possibility, and I'm positive to it. I want to see him at Arsenal. I think he's gonna add another dimension to us, and I think he's gonna make us more unpredictable. And it's just gonna, like Jesus came on and he's raised the competition and the standard to a fact where even Eddie looks better. I think Neto can have a similar impact on Martinelli and Saka. So I'm for it. I'm for it.
I think that's a good assessment there that you've made of Neto. And just my thoughts, just quickly to add on it. You know, when we talk about the goal return, I think you could say that for Martinelli as well. And that's someone that we adore in this fan base and someone that we know has the potential and the ability to do that. And we're starting to see it now with Martinelli, of course, with 2 goals in the first 3 games. That's where if he makes that next step, he can certainly do that. Wilf, what's your thoughts on Neto and thoughts on a player? Is that a signing that you'd be impressed with?
Up until King was talking, I have my doubts about this. I have my reservations.
But King's changed
because of his. No, he's made me see it slightly differently.
Yeah,
which I always love. His injury record, which is something that is always a concern to any player that comes to Arsenal. We can't be carrying any more sick notes. And his numbers, the assists and goal numbers, and I never really thought about it. Okay, if he's in a team that's more defensively, those numbers aren't going to be huge. Those are my concerns. Don't get me wrong. If he came, I'd be like, "Yeah, cool, wicked. Let's crack on." But I have reservations about this signing. I think it would be a good for if we get him. I think it would be a good one for us, and they obviously will know where he's going to play, how they're going to play, and how they're going to utilize him in his team. But I have reservations.
What are those main ones? So you mentioned
it's mainly the progressive numbers, because he's played 70 something games, and he's only got like something in the region of like 10 goals and 11 assists or something like that. I kind of would want a higher return. Hopefully, if he comes to us, then those numbers will jump up exponentially. I don't see him starting. I don't see him ousting either Saka, even though Saka's, by his standards, have been under par. I don't see him displacing Martinelli. So I'm wondering, is this a Europa Cup replacement signing? And
let me jump in there.
No, you asked me. So this is my
short statement. I just want you to think.
Yeah, this is my reservations. I'm hoping I'm wrong, and I'm like, when King talks about him, I kind of go, right, I didn't think about that and stuff. So yeah.
Before I let King spit, and then I'll jump in afterwards. What I'll say, Wilf, you're right to have those reservations because of evidence. But King, I'll let you go first, my brother, and what your response would be to those.
So 2 things first. Before last season, Saka never had a high goal scoring season.
No.
Yeah, and secondly, I think Neto's best season, he scored 6 goals and had 5 assists.
Right.
And that was when he was 20. He obviously had that injury, and he's now recovering from it. So imagine if he can score 6 goals, 5 assists in a defensive team like Wolves. If he comes to Arsenal and he stays fit, if he can get to 8-9 goals and 10 assists, that's 15 goal involvement for someone who's just 22. Do you see where I'm getting?
Yeah, no, and this is what I'm saying to you. Like, that's why I need to be convinced because of those numbers, and you're making great points. So I'm being convinced.
Because with me, I always say this: when it comes to players before they're 24, I don't judge them too much on their goal output, because I think I've seen so many players where, like your Aubameyangs and your Ronaldos and your Lewandowski. These players didn't have wonderful output until they were starting to get to your 24, 25, 26. And we can even see that now with Jesus is another one who is there are other strikers with better numbers.
Yeah.
But you can see now the quality. And this scouting network that we have now very rarely get it wrong when they go for players nowadays, and that's why I'm even more excited about it. So yeah, that was my.
But this is the thing. It's a concern I want to be wrong about.
Yeah.
And I believe I believe in the people that are making these decisions they see what I don't, because they're on the training ground, they've done their scouting and network and all the rest of it. So I believe in what they're doing. So if they say he's right, then cool. He's right. He'll come to us and show what he can do. I don't doubt. There's no doubt that there's a player in there. I think the reason why I'm feeling like this is because this team's raised my expectations on what we can attract, what we can bring into the team now. Because I've heard Wrighty say it, I've heard a friend of mine who deals with agents say this. We are one of the most attractive propositions for young players at the moment. If you're a baller, there are loads of agents out here going, we need to get you in Arsenal. And I've said this before, even if it's just to raise your profile, so your next move will be massive, or to be in on the ground floor when this team takes off, and you can possibly win stuff and make your money and all the rest of it. That's why my expectations are a lot higher. Because if you said to me last season, Pedro Neto, I'd have been like, yeah, bring him. But because of what I see, what's going on now, and they've raised my level of expectation, I'm kind of a bit more, okay, yeah, I get it. But this is why I have these reservations. I'm probably, and I'm sure I'm wrong about it, and he'll come to us, and because Odegaard came to us, and look what he is now. You know what I mean?
That's the perfect point now, Wilf, because he's someone that didn't provide those numbers, those end products, but you see the impact he has on that final third, and that's what Pedro Neto certainly does have, even if it's not that final pass or that final shot to score the goal. That's what he gave to Wolves in a massive attacking outlet, and they relied upon him heavily. And also linking it with Martinelli, as I mentioned previously, that's where we questioned him, and that's where he needs to improve and develop. And if you're having those players with that hunger, that age, and providing the defensive work rate that he wants from a winger as well. You know it's my boy. But I think this, honestly, he could display Saka and make him, give him a run for money in a similar way.
That's what we want.
In a similar way that Zinchenko with Tierney, they're not the same player, because Saka's a lot more methodical with his approach, and he's not whereas Neto is a direct, like Saka and Martinelli, we love them both, and they're different. They'll give you something different, because Martinelli will give you that high intensity, that running. You can't have too many of them, because sometimes you need to slow the game down, and sometimes you need to be able to think a little bit more intricate. And
you need to change the game in a you need to change the game in a game.
Exactly that. And you want to have that difference. And that's where Pedro Neto and Saka, it's not a like for like, which makes it even better for Neto, because depending on the game state, as you said there, and depending against the opponent, they will give you different elements. And if we're away at Manchester City, you can literally play a Saka, Neto, and Martinelli in the same lineup if you wanted to. With Saka's versatility, that he can provide that. And this is what, it's amazing, man. And this is why we're happy to see it. And I don't think we will see those if we did get Neto, we'd see those three. But
we might do. I mean, because at some point you're gonna have to rest Jesus. And in certain games, for example, like a Europa lower league team, you can try that out, and League Cup or FA Cup is in a team where you can try that out, where they are at that level. So I hope I want to. Don't get me wrong, I want to see him come. I'm just saying that those are my reservations if he does come.
And it's fair. It's fair. But did you know that Jota's best goal scoring season at Wolves was 7 goals? Just one more.
This is what I did. And those those are the things where I kind of go, you know what? Even though I've got those reservations, and you, because you made that great point of, which it didn't click to me, that Wolves were a more defensive side, so he's going to be doing more defensive work. And this is no disrespect to Wolves, but they're not the team that go after the throat of a team like we're trying to be. So
and you trust Edu,
of course,
by the right player, and you trust Arteta to get the best out of him.
Exactly, yeah. And like I said, and so now in a team where we're front-footed and we're going for the throat, he's freed up to do this, and I'm going to see, whoa, okay, right. This brother is going to tear someone a new one. Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping, and to be honest, there's a lot of players from Wolves that you can't go wrong with when you buy them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've had to, obviously, unfortunately for them, they're a stepping stone team.
Yeah.
As you know, that middle section of the Premier League is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But that said, it's not a bad place to buy from. Wolves is not a bad place to buy from.
And that's it, man. And Wilf, this is why we love you, man, because you know what? You had your reservations, but guess what? Me and King had our reservations on Zinchenko, right? And how has he dispelled those in the first games?
I said on here, and I said on a couple of, he could be equally, if not more important than Jesus. And the reason why I said that was because you know what you're getting with Jesus, even though he's being better than we thought, as King said. With Zinchenko, you saw it in the Bournemouth game when that ball come over and he's chasing back, and I'm thinking, right, he's going to either lay it back to Ramsdale or lay it wide. He does a little deep thing, and the brother carries on running past him, and I'm like, nah, don't do that to the man live on TV. That's just wrong. And his technical ability, he's another calmness.
Did you see the keepy uppies? Have you seen that video, Will? Where they
I haven't.
Oh man, you've seen it, King, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen it.
In training, right? And I'm sorry if you've seen it. You're probably like,
Is it on the Arsenal website?
No, was it on the? I'll send it to you anyway.
Yeah.
They're doing a race now in training where they're doing like kick ups, but it's like a racing, but keeping the ball up, doing kick ups to the end, so to the halfway line from the end. Everyone else is there, like going at decent pace to us. You see it. You're like, right, like they're doing all right. They're going. Next thing you know, Zinchenko, literally 2 touches in the air. Next thing you know, he's booting it high, controlling it, and then beats everyone. I'm gonna send it. Yeah, I've not done it. Technical ability, man. I was so shocked. That's what we had reservation. Like,
I never.
No, it wasn't even.
I never.
For me, I said it like. Yeah, I knew that he was good he's even better on the ball than I thought. My reservation with Zinchenko was always his defensive awareness.
Yes, that was me.
Because he's so good and he adds so much flexibility to the way the manager wants to play. Like, it's good. And the good thing is that because he and Tierney are so different, is that if there's a game that it doesn't suit Zinchenko, Tierney can just come in and add something else, and it's gonna be so hard for the teams to defend against us because they're two so different players. So I
think that's going to be our biggest strength this season is our unpredictability.
That's it. That's what Arteta wants as well, bro.
Yeah, our unpredictability, because that was one of the things that let us down last season. Because if Saka wasn't playing, or he was running on empty, or Odegaard, or whoever it was. That was it. We were done, and teams knew that, and we didn't have anything on the bench to come on and change up a team. Now, I looked at our bench on. I remember the Leicester game, looking at our bench and going, "Rah, this." When I saw what was on the bench, and then I looked at the Bournemouth game, and I'm like, any one of these men can come on and do a job. I'm not going to be. It's not going to be a man come on and go, you're bringing him on. I'm happy to see each and every man, and that includes the El Nenis and the Holdinis and them man there. I'm happy to see them come on. We've got strength on that bench, and we've still got players to come back, and with the window still open. And I just think someone like Zinchenko, and I said this to you when you saw the video when he actually greeted them when they were playing pool and stuff.
Mm.
There's a kind of, with him and Jesus, when I saw them meet, there was a look in their face, and when he met up with Arteta as well, right, we can start now. You're here, we can start now. Yeah, my man's here. Right, things are ready. We got players in there now. We can chuck it. We can test. Come test us. You need to be on your game. And even when, I mean, obviously we're going to lose games. Obviously we're going to have dips in performances, but I can't see any batterings for us. And if a team beats us, they're going to have to work hard to beat us. Even the likes of your Man Cities and your Liverpools and them kind of things there. Even, yeah, all right, Chelsea took a beating. They are going to, it's not going to be as easy for any teams nowadays to beat us.
Yeah,
totally.
And I just don't want fans to lose their head as well if we lose one or two games, because we see now that the base level is much higher than before. So have some faith on the managers and the players. Like, we're not perfect yet.
You saw at Man United, everybody had predicted Man United to lose to Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know, get battered. But teams step up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Just because we're running a little bit out of time. So with these comments, Moss, I think it's a good question. Neto, isn't he a lot like Vieira? I wouldn't say not. I'd say if you were Fabio Vieira is a bit of a unique talent, and he's not similar to Neto. If I'm going to try and relate him to someone, if he was to play on the wide position, he'd be a little bit more like Saka, who plays with the incisive passes, would link up play a little bit more. Whereas Neto, if you want, honestly, I do see Neto very similar to Martinelli. King, do you see that as well?
Yeah, and I think even with Vieira, like, Saka is much faster, more explosive than Vieira. Vieira he doesn't rely on pace. He rely a lot. He's almost like an Odegaard, but more direct,
picking pocket,
more direct.
Picking pocket, safe cracker kind of thing. Yeah.
He
plays the more direct passes. That's what
and he likes to shoot. He likes to run into the box.
He likes a long pass.
Well.
He comes to Arsenal, so we'll get that shooting thing out of him.
Yeah. So that's what I'd say he's a little bit more like. But Neto, honestly, if we had him and Martinelli on the same team, I would cry. Could you imagine a fullback's nightmare?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be us. See, it wouldn't be us crying. It would be the opposition, Barley going, oh yeah, my hamstring and my ACL's gone at the same time. I can't come off this pitch.
Do you know what? Just round off the Neto talk. I want to hear quickly, and then we'll have a quick word about Tielemans as well, and then we'll wrap up. Before we wrap up, we've got a couple of questions and in the chat that we can discuss. But right, in short words, do you think it's happening? And give me your percentage meter at the moment and how likely it is to happen. I'll give you mine first.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, right? Honestly, because of the FFP situation with us right now, when we're trying to closely monitor that. But the reason why we won't do it in that reason, because I think Wolves are going to demand a lot of money because they're in a very strong position with Neto. So if I was going to say the likely meter right now, it's below 50%. I'm going 40% right now. Can you guys convince me? King?
No,
Wilf?
No, I don't think I don't think it's going to happen either. Just because it's just too out there, and you know we get linked to a lot of people. If it does happen, it's 50-50. Again, the price tag. I think they have a substitute if the price tag gets too big, because they've shown that you know what, over a certain price, we ain't paying that no more. I don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't mind if it did. I would like it,
of course.
but I don't think it's going to happen.
What percentage then? What are you giving?
I would give it 50.
So 50.
50.
I mean,
50. Yeah, but because because of all the things you said, the quality, he has the qualities and all the rest of it. Yeah. I think the price tag sways whether we get him or not. I think we do want him.
Yeah.
But if Wolves take the money that we're offering, then yeah, that's the 50%. I don't think they will, because they're like, you know what? If we're gonna have to decimate our side, we're gonna jack up the price just to see who's gonna pay it.
Exactly. What about you, King? What is your likelihood in this?
I'm a bit more optimistic than you two, and the reason is, for me, number one, George Mendes. Mm-hmm. He gets these players to Wolves to sell them to make a profit. Mm-hmm. And probably the reason why he's leaked it to David Ornstein, because it's not Arsenal's leaked it, it's definitely from his side, is because they want this deal to happen. I think Wolves owners want the money. They went on and spent big on Guedes and Nunes, and now they need money back, and they need more players in. But for them to be able to buy players, they need to sell players. I don't think they can spend anymore. And I don't think our FFP situation is as bad as the media is trying to make it sound. The media always have some angle towards Arsenal. And when you read Swiss Rambo's article, you kind of get an understanding that it's not bad yet, but at some point we're going to have to make profit. But it looks like Ainsley is going, and we might get a fee for him. So we get rid of his wages. Pepe looks like he's going to Nice. We got to get rid of his wages. Yeah. And obviously, if Bellerin leaves again, that's over 300k in wages that we get rid of, which is a lot of money. And Neto wouldn't come on a huge fee, on a huge wage fee, because I don't think his salary earnings is that high. And I can see a deal where we maybe pay 35 to 40 million with 10 millions in add-ons if we get like Champions League and he plays certain international caps for Portugal. And for me, I'm not against add-ons, because if they kick in, it means that the players done well.
Doing well, yeah.
Right, he's coming to Arsenal now, isn't he, Wilf?
Yeah, you had it here first, live on Tereak's channel.
No, but in all honesty,
no, I still, and because it's been leaked elsewhere, that's again why I'm not convinced that he will do.
Right, Wilf. If it happens, right, what do we have to give King something? Seriously.
Oh yeah,
King deserves something for this.
Yeah, because we'll think about it.
Any suggestions? Get them in the comments at the end of this. By the way, any forfeits that we have to do for King? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we'll gladly do it. Right?
Oh yeah, of course.
We're not. Let me put this out there. We're not touching the hair. Wilf's got very luscious locks.
You ain't. No way you're touching my hair. You ain't touching the hair, arms, let alone my head.
yeah. But I'll gladly do a forfeit. Gladly, if he comes. But,
same here.
Yeah. So King, maybe. You know, you have some thoughts as well, but you don't have to do anything if you don't come, because you know you don't need to suffer. Like, you know?
No. We'll big you up some way. We'll big you up some way. Send you some flowers or something. Give you some flowers or something.
But the final one now, and just quickly on this, each of you, Tielemans, do you think this is going to happen?
The longer it goes on, I don't. I've always had reservations about the Tielemans thing, in the respect of we were looking for something better, and if it's last minute and we can't get that, then we'll bring him in, because I think he wants us more than we want him. I think we want him. I would welcome him, because he's a decent player, but I don't think it is as nailed on as everybody thinks. And I think Tielemans thinks it's now done more than it is. That makes sense?
Yeah. We've had some news, but it's not. Is it really news? It's about Tielemans. It's more update from Ben Jacobs about Tielemans. Literally come through Arsenal, but basically we've had personal terms agreed,
right,
with Tielemans. That's almost but confirmed. But Leicester want just over 30 million, and Arsenal value him at under 25.
And that's why I don't think it's happening, because Leicester need the money. Yeah. We're not going to budge on paying that money. And I think they're going to wait. If he does come, it will be last minute. And like final deadline day, and Leicester need the money so desperately they have to take the 25 million and whatever. But I've heard talk that they're willing to let him run down his contract.
And you know what as well, guys? And King, you can try and convince me again. I'd love it if you could, bro. But I think Liverpool are going to go after him. I think there's no real concrete news of this, but I'm just looking at the scenario around Liverpool right now. We've played a dangerous game, leaving it this long. This is where, you got to question how much do Arsenal really want him? Because if they wanted him, they'd have wrapped him up.
So I'm saying to you.
You would pay. We overpaid for Benjamin White because we knew the necessity that he was going to give us at that point in time.
I disagree. We overpaid for Benjamin White. At the time,
I know what Tereak mean was that we could have waited. Like no one was after Benjamin White. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you could have
because we wanted him so much.
Yeah.
We didn't even try to get him for 40 million or wait another year and see. Like we were like. Okay, 50 million. Yeah, we need him.
That's the difference. I don't think we want Tielemans like we wanted Benjamin White.
The reason why we're not as desperate for Tielemans, I think, is Granit Xhaka. I think he's impressed the manager so much that where we wanted to play Tielemans, we're not even sure if he plays ahead of Granit right now. And if he's gonna come in and be a squad player, and we got Vieira and we got Sambi, and still got El Neni, like they know that worst case scenario, they can get Tielemans in January, probably 5 to 10 million, which is not too far. They could even have a pre-agreement and take him on a free next summer, because he wants. Don't get it wrong, Tielemans wants to come to Arsenal.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
he's checked out from Leicester, and that's the problem for Leicester now, because number one, they need money as well. Their owners need money as well. And that's why they're not buying players and letting go of players.
Yeah.
And number two, like we are in the front seat because we're not desperate. Player wants to come, selling club wants to sell. We are just not willing to pay what they want. And I think it's one of them where if it's going to happen, it's a deadline day signing. But as Tereak have said, if Liverpool try and test the waters, Tielemans can be like, oh, I've been waiting for you guys the whole summer and you didn't make the effort. Now I can go to a Champions League playing team. I've got it there. But I think Arsenal are okay with it. The thing is this, I think Arsenal, again, they are okay with it because of there are other options where they can go and get a Paqueta. This like
I think we
are in a
him better than
situation
Liverpool.
where we do because that pressing system, like
what he requires from in midfield is very much
like Liverpool midfield lack legs right now. The reason why they were so effective before was Ronaldo was so dynamic, Henderson was so dynamic, and they could give so much support to Robertson and Trent when they were going forward, where they don't have that anymore. And that's not something that Tielemans would be good at. So I don't know. We'll see. Like for me, with Tielemans, I don't know where I stand with him. And football is such a funny game because 2 years ago, I really rated him, and I was like, Tielemans he's a good footballer, but because we are so good now, and as Wolf said, because we've now become a club where we're attractive to a lot of players, and we've managed to get your Jesus, your Sinchenko, and if we secure Martinelli, Saka, and Saliba to new contracts, like agents and players will be aware that something is happening at Arsenal. So,
And
There we
I
are.
wouldn't mind if we get him, I'm okay. If we don't get him, I'm okay. I think that's where I sit with the Tielemans thing.
Because it's Tielemans' defensive capabilities that concern me. I think he's better going forward than he is defensively.
Yeah, and this is where I would like to add to that. And if we do get him, I'm not going. He's not. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as this player, but the equivalent in terms of the role of the team and how people will look at him. Pep Guardiola, we spoke about him earlier. King brought him up. Ilkay Gundogan. I think he can take that role as a midfielder who can get goals, who isn't just, you talk about him in terms of what he brings in end products, goals and assists, but he scores a lot of goals, Gundogan.
Yeah.
And so
the firepower that Arteta was talking about.
The Tielemans' best season is when you see him arriving late into the box and he can play on that left side. He's very good at progressing the ball. And to your point there, Wilf, you wouldn't necessarily say Gundogan's a great defensive player, would you?
No.
Because you don't need to at City because they're very good at keeping the ball.
And I think that late arriver that scores goals is something that I think we're missing on a consistent basis.
Yeah,
where
that would
someone
take us to another. Like, imagine if we get a midfielder who does that, and they have to know how to deal with him, and know how to deal with Jesus, and know how to deal with Martinelli and Saka. And
it's too much. It's too much. Yeah. It becomes too much.
That's why City, even when they don't have like a recognized, main man, they still score 90 to 100 goals a season.
Because they beat you into submission. You can't get out of your third of the pitch, your last third. If you can, then you're getting into the second third, but that's about it. And they win it back again. I mean, I do think Arteta is the love child of Pep and Wenger, because I'm seeing their philosophies in there amalgamated and mutated into Arteta's, because we have the fluidity and creativity of Wenger. But the rigidity of the City formula.
That's probably the best thing I've heard. Do you know why, Will?
Yeah.
Because we always hear, don't we, guys, about Arteta? Yeah, he just does everything that Pep does. But the problem...
Got boots in the chat.
Mods, you know what to do. But do you know, with the issue, and this is why we're seeing Gabriel Jesus thrive, is because there is that freedom that Wenger does give you to an element. And that's a smashing point right there. King, and I've not heard that. Have you heard that, King?
No, I haven't. I've heard probably the opposite, and I can see it. And what I like about Arteta is that he's not as sentimental as Wenger is.
Yeah.
No,
and I know that
he's got that nasty streak of Pep.
That was the best of Wenger, but later on, it was also what killed him. And I feel like in this modern day where we are now, where players have so much power and so much money, you can't be sentiment. You have to. You have to back.
And you've seen that ruthless streak with the people he got rid of.
Yeah,
100%. The people he got rid of, even Oba. You know what I mean? But he's done it in a way. It was cold. It was calculated. There wasn't too much emotion in it. You know what I mean? He's emotional with the players that are on board. But if you're not, thank you for your service. See you later.
Yeah, if you're not on board, none of this, with your loyalty, we pay you enough money. There you go. But guys, we are going to wrap it up here. We went on a little bit, as we do. JC, I know this is your...
What a surprise. We went on longer than expected.
Exactly, JC. When we do these Arsenal shows, even if there's 4 or 5 of us, we always go on a bit longer than expected.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's because of the love of the game and the love that we have for Arsenal. And it's good because if we were going through difficult moments, I'm sure we wouldn't be going longer than expected.
No.
But you know what? It's a great time to be an Arsenal fan, so we've got to enjoy it. Be realistic. Like JC, which he mentioned earlier in the chat, which is why he appreciates this. We're not talking in hyperbole, and we're not getting.
We're winning the World Cup. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. We're not, but we are enjoying it, and this is what you'll get from myself, Wilf, and King. You've got to embrace these moments as a football fan. Yes, we can add realism when we're having these conversations between ourselves, but also enjoy it with when we bantering other fans. Sorry, if you be like, you will know this, Wilf and King. If you're gonna be there, be realistic to them. Say, it's still early days. As soon as you lose, who's the first person that will still message?
Oh, bro, I don't. No, there's no realism when I'm bantering. There's no realism when I'm bantering. I'm giving it hard, and especially like I've got a long memory. Yeah, I've got a long memory. So there's brethrens of mine that gave me stick. Chelsea fans, Tottenham fans, whatever, when we were down, Man United fans.
Yeah.
Boy, I have laced them to the point where they're barling, going, nah, that's out of order. And I'm like, hey, when it was us and we were down, you were saying we were SHI, and all the rest of it, and we were this, and we were nothing, and we were rubbish, and it's just a win, who is it against? Exactly. But now we're doing this. Other teams lose, I'm laying it into them. I'm probably giving it harder than they gave it to me, because he who lasts longest. I remember that time, and I laced them with it, and I'm doing what our team do. I'm not taking my foot off their neck. Foot's on the neck, and I'm stepping down, and I ain't coming off.
No, we ain't exactly.
And what I will say to every football fan out there, like, if your team is doing well, make the most of it, because nothing is guaranteed.
Enjoy it.
I remember when we went invincible. If someone would have told me that after that it's gonna be more than 15 years and we're not winning a league title, I would say you are lying. That's impossible.
Man.
So nothing is guaranteed in football. When you do well, enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, I do every second.
We could literally be witnessing the demise of Liverpool after it looked like they had a great run.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Yeah. I'm shocked.
And a rivalry where maybe they've just won one Premier League out of
The decline can happen that quickly.
Manchester United, they wouldn't have thought that. It's been 10 years? Even
it's been
Fergie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Is it 10 years or is it longer than that? When did Fergie leave? 2011?
12-13.
Yeah.
The 12-13 season was. So this is the 10 years anniversary.
Yeah.
For them.
Sorry, exactly. I mean, it's been 5 years since they won anything, isn't it?
Exactly. Manchester United 5 years without a trophy. Do you know what I mean?
And the trophies that they won were Europa and League, FA Cup or League Cup.
Yeah,
League Cup.
Exactly. Yeah. And they've been in the Europa League a few occasions since then as well.
Yeah.
They last won it. So you have to. King, great point. Enjoy it, even when you were on the top. And Manchester City, things could change like that. If you're a fan watching, enjoy it.
We've seen it with Chelsea.
Pep's not going to be there forever. Pep's not going to be there forever.
Yeah. We saw it with Abramovich. Chelsea fans were so comfortable because they had him. They thought everything was sorted. They knew that no matter how sticky it was, Abramovich would try and rectify it. But he's no longer there, and you can feel it around the whole club. It's not the same Chelsea anymore.
Nope. Sorry, quickly on the Chelsea thing. What I've noticed is the new owner coming in really affects things, because until they get onto the same page and they're on the same plan, which we have, which I've not.
You don't have a plan. The plan is just
I know. This is what I'm saying. Well, they might do, but it's two different ones. You know what I mean? Todd Bowley and Tuchel, they're not in the same room. I don't even think they're in the same stadium at the moment. And how that can affect and trickle down, because obviously Tuchel's not happy there at the moment. Even though he's got a very good squad, I don't want to see Aubameyang go there, but I'm glad that Chelsea are buying our castles now, that rather than the other way around. Yeah. But remember, he fell out with Tuchel when he was at Borussia Dortmund.
Exactly. This is what
and badly to come to us. So what's going to happen if he's forced on? If Aubameyang's forced onto him?
That's how we got him in January.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. And
told this to Tereak. Like for me, Wilf, it's not normal that so many players want to leave a team that just recently won Champions League, won World Cup for club teams, won the Super Cup. Like it's not like a 10-year spells where they haven't won anything. And that core of players, those who won it, are the same players who wants to leave. So something is wrong in that dressing room where the players are not happy.
And that was the side that was supposed to last season, just like outside of last season, was supposed to be title challengers. So you should be adding 1-2 players to that to make sure you're a title challenger this time. But yet, people seem to be leaving a sinking ship.
Yeah,
that's true. And guys, we are going to wrap it up there. We went on even longer for you. Extra bit of content. And big up yourself, David. I just love football. And this is, you know, Matt, big up yourself as well, David, because you're a non-Arsenal fan and you've stuck throughout this whole stream. You know what?
Yeah, I know why we're talking about our team, man. That's respect, honestly.
Massive respect, David. Definite, just a football fan, but a brother to us as well. You know what? Since meeting you, since getting to know you, getting in the comments, you show a lot of support and a lot of love. So big up to each and every one of you as well. Everyone else, I know big up JC and David a lot, but you are all massive to us as well. Thank you so much for the love and support and sticking with us. We've got 9 people still here watching. Thank you. We really do appreciate it. And everyone else who's come in and just shown love. This is a relatively small channel. We are growing. We've been going for over a year now. It was a year ago at the start of this month. And it's been an absolute wonderful journey so far. And someone who has a channel of their own and still early on. Well, I'm early on in my journey, but he's even earlier. But my brother, King, I was about to say Wilf again then. I keep getting...
I know.
I need to get Wilf for
It's the melanin, man. It's the melanin. You see dark melanin. You see dark melanin. So you need to get crab back.
Yeah, you
need to get crab back.
You all look the same. Big up my brother King, and let the people know where they can find you, my bro.
First of all, big up to Tereak and Will for letting me join this special panel and the stream again on point. And I love to do stream with you guys. And big up the community, big up everyone who's been in the chat. Like as Tereak said, I started my channel like a month ago and I almost have 150 subscribers. That's thanks to the community. I could not do that alone. And I just want people to understand that this is what our community is. Like we help each other, we lift up each other. And that's why I rate each and every one of you, and make sure you subscribe to King's Football Show. Thank you for having me on once again. Big up.
Jeez. Big up myself, my man, and congratulations on the
it's crazy, honestly. Like
we gotta keep going, keep pushing each other, guys. And you know what? We're gonna be here. We're here for a good time and a long time, but a good time as well. And last but certainly not least, my brother Wilf. Once again, hey, big up yourself. Again, great watching our Arsenal game with you, King. We're gonna have to go as well, but Wilf, let the people know where they can find you, man.
They'll find me here. They'll find me on King Show. I am blessed, honored, and very fortunate to be on panelists on their shows. This community is so intelligent, so loving, so thoughtful, so open-minded. Love the banter and everything, but it's as well as what we give out, what I get back from people's thoughts, makes me think, and broadens my knowledge of football, and makes me think about, okay, why do I like this? Why do I like that? And I love that. I love that so much about this. And T-Money, it's, you built it and we came. So, bless.
Big up, my brother, man. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. And let the people where they can find you saying good mornings. You know.
Oh, that'll be on the Discord. Yo. I'll be the grumpy one on Discord saying good mornings.
Yo, imagine,
stuff,
he ain't grumpy. He was, big up, Moss boss. Oh, you're in the mountains, man. I thought you was
enjoy
yourself.
Yeah.
I thought, big up yourself. And it was the pleasure of Moss boss when we was able to go to the game. But literally, you told us, that he's not a morning person. Like, I know you liked a little bit of it, he was the last one to wake up, people.
Exactly. And that's why, if you woke me up earlier, half an hour earlier, you'd probably get thumping them out. You know what I mean? So I'd be like, I'd have woke up swinging.
He's grumpy talk. He's fine. He's like me. If it weren't for Moss waking me up, then I would have, I'd have probably been asleep until your time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an early bird, by the way. This brother does not sleep. I promise you.
Yeah, Moss does. That's crazy because I'll be streaming with Moss the whole day. I'll go to bed, wake up, and he's still streaming.
Yeah, I know.
And he's still
there's morning birds going, Moss, go back to sleep, man. I didn't even start singing yet. And he's up before the birds.
Trust me, Moss sees the same owl, after when he goes
to bed exactly. At night,
he sees he sees that same owl from the I'm telling you,
he's a legend, Moss.
He's an absolute legend. We love you always, Moss. We always do. We love you, Moss. We do. Yeah. Look at that demise of Chelsea. Big up yourself, everyone. Thank you, Ravi. Big up to you all. Really appreciate it once again. We are finally out. You'll see the outro right about now. But once again, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Share the content to friends and family, whether it's clicking that share button or just talking, tell them, I found this Arsenal show. And it's pretty good, and you probably want to share it. But we have much more stuff on the channel as well. But people, love to you all. We are out, and peace. If I can find the outro video.